Hello, welcome to the Connect 0007 experience. Here, we come to the podcast where human connection is everything. If you're trying to connect better with those around you, you're in the right spot. So please, sit back, relax, open your mind, and enjoy the experience. Well, hello there. I am your host, Thaddeus Sims, and today is going to be our 52nd episode titled Outgrowing Your Friends. And I have talked a little bit about this in certain episodes of the podcast, but I never really made a whole episode on this. And before I really go into this, I need to share the fun fact with you. There is no announcement this time. Again, don't worry. I know some of y'all have been like, dang, there hasn't been any announcements recently. Trust me, y'all gonna get some new stuff. I promise you. It's just a build up. It's a build up. But this fun fact here is, I don't know. This fun fact is quite, I feel some type of way about this. I feel disgusted, but I'm going to share it anyways. So, billy goats urinate on their heads to smell more attractive to females. Ugh. Billy goats, or bucks, is a name given to male goats. Generally, they urinate on themselves in late summer through fall. Oh my gosh, late summer, that's when it's hot. I mean, everything stank then. You already stink because you're outside. Then you pee on top of your head, which I really am curious how you pee on. Okay, anyways. In the late summer through fall, and for us, it's not a pleasant smell. I'm already I'm triggered, to be honest with you. I feel upset because I haven't really even smelled it, but the thought of this is just I have, let's just say my goat, I don't want to call him Billy, so we're going to give him a different name. I'm going to call him Timmy the goat. And I'm going to feel some type of way if, I'm just having a good old refreshing morning. I have my good old cup of limeade and with ice, and I just had a salad. And I go out and I'm about to go over there and say, "What's up, Timmy?" And he goes, make his little goat noises. And then come to find, I'm about to pet him and he's smelling just straight piss. And it's just, I would be triggered. I would be upset. I'm just like, bro, you really trying to get these females out here. You just peeing all over your head. How did you even do that? I have questions. I'm triggered. You just ruined my morning, and I just feel some type of way. And yes, I just had a whole rant on that. Because I'm just saying, think about it, guys. A whole goat pee on his head? How? How do you do that? Why did you do? Well, I know why, but how? Bro, I'm upset. But anyways, let's switch gears here. Let's actually go to the podcast. So, I would like to definitely give another shout out to my friend Brandon. He's the one who actually, again, made the intro. An outro, with the music and stuff like that. But me and him had a very good conversation. By the way, Brandon, I did not ask if I could say your name, but here you are. Anyways, but no, I told him. Anyways, basically we had a talk and we were talking about what do you do when you're outgrowing your friends. And me and him had talked about this a few times, and he was telling me that it was something that I said, and it helped him out. And I personally went through this, and this is something that I had to learn from my mentors as well. Outgrowing your friends and different things like that. And so a lot of us hear this, but we don't really do this. And some of us struggle with this. So what I decided to do was to break this down into 8 steps for you guys to get this, so you can go through this process and get through it. Because I've talked with not just Brandon, but I've talked with other friends, and we've said similar things regarding this area. But a lot of people just, they have feelings with this. So we gonna start. We're gonna start. So here's the first thing, right? So I'm going to call these phases, so bear with me here. So the first phase when it comes to outgrowing your friends is the awareness phase, right? And that's pretty much like you're starting to outgrow your friends. You're starting to be aware that the things you used to do aren't helping you or benefiting you in any way. So some examples, like you probably used to go smoke, or you probably used to go drink and go all spend money, go to the club, do all these whatever extracurricular activities that with your friends, and it was fun while it lasted. You had a good time. That was just what you did. But after a while, it starts to kind of like, okay, you start to have an awareness like this isn't really exciting me like it used to. So you have that awareness phase, right? And excuse me while I actually open up this bottled water because I'm a bit parched. So I'm going to drink. Y'all gonna hear me drink. Right? Okay, now we're ready. So you go back into this whole phase where you're aware of it, right? We get that. Different examples, I already explained that. Boom. We're going to go to the next step. The next step is, this is what I call the seeking point phase. And basically all this means is that you're starting to seek out things that really just help you grow and benefit your life. So some of the examples for me was that I wanted to learn more about business because a lot of my friends were doing college and I was kind of doing that, but it wasn't working for me. So I was like, yeah, nah, this isn't for me. Some of that may not be for you. Some of you may want more positivity. Some of you may want more business-minded people. Some of you may want more fun. Some of you may not even want to do none of the things that I'm mentioning, and you just want something different. You're seeking out something different that you feel is calling you, whatever. You start to do that, right? Right. All right. This here is what I've come to find out. So after you found what you've been seeking, like you kind of did some research and whatnot, then you come to the third part. And this is the part that we're going to stick with because this is where people get stuck at. And they have good reasons to. And I'm just going to go through it. So the third part, the third phase, I call it the transition / change phase. And this is when, after you done seek something out, you try to put your friends onto these new things. You try to tell them like, hey, let's do this, let's do that. But some aren't on that tip and some are. And this is where a lot of people get stuck at. So some of the examples is that you may want to say, hey guys, instead of drinking, blah, 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 let's do something different. Let's bowl. Let's go out on a nature walk. And they're like, what? Like, yeah, let's do something like healthier, something more beneficial. And they're like, nah, bro, you crazy. You've been with them other people. You've been hanging out with your other friends, right? But then you have some other friends who may say, yeah, I've been thinking of that, but I haven't had anyone to do that with, right? And that is, it can be a bit easier with those friends who are open and they wouldn't mind going with you, right? But this is for those who are like, nah, I'm not on that tip. And this is the part where we get stuck at. Those friends who may be like, nah, bro, I'm not on that, those are the friends that you would say they're your old friends, right? Your real old friends. Like y'all real close, took them to the point where they can come into your house, go in your kitchen, cook your food, fix a whole meal, take a to-go plate home to wherever they come back at. Matter of fact, they may not even like go home. They may come in your room and take a nap in your bed or on your floor or whatever guest bedroom. I mean, like the whole house is open. God dang it. Hell, they can come into your house, take a whole shower in your house. And y'all that's nothing. You know what I mean? That's how close y'all are, right? So I'm giving you an example. And y'all may have been through a lot. So when you kind of start doing these things and you kind of want to change, but they're not with it, you are aware, okay, you trying, but there's a bit of like a distance, okay, we're not really in alignment, but you trying to do something. But what stops a lot of us is that we may start to feel like we're betraying them, right? Or we feel like we're starting to cut them off, and we feel guilty about that. Like, man, this is like my bro, or this is my sis. We've been through so much. They helped me out through this, all of that stuff, right? You think of all of those things, and it really kind of makes you feel guilty. And that is what hinders a lot of us, because of those connections that we have. And because we're trying to change and we're trying to do better, and we're trying so hard to get them on that wave, and it's just not working. And basically what that is that you're starting to distance yourself. Like, you're not in alignment anymore. You're starting to grow. You seek different things, and you found different things, and you're starting to feel better, but you're not in alignment. And another thing when you're not in alignment is when you do start to do these other things that you've seeked out, after you hang out with them, you start to feel low. Like, after hanging out, you don't feel as energized. Like, when you were doing the things, let's just say you wanted to do those nature walks. You did that with some of your friends and you felt good. You guys have gotten closer. You guys have had different conversations, more vulnerable, blah, blah, blah. But then those ones who didn't want to do all this new stuff, because y'all have this old connection, after you hang out with them, you just kind of don't feel as good. You don't feel as high, not like high, but you don't feel as high as in energy compared to, when you're with your other friends versus this friend that, that makes you feel low. So afterwards, you kind of start to feel bad. But what happens when we get stuck is that we keep trying to be the positive one and be there for them and hope that they will grow and change and this, that, and the other. And we really try to stay with those people. And again, hoping that something will click, and it doesn't. And then we're the ones who are frustrated or feel some type of way. And then eventually that starts to drain us, but we feel bad. So what really keeps us there is guilt and stuff like that. Again, this is where a lot of people get stuck at. And I'm going to tell you, it's okay to feel those feelings, because you guys are close. So you feel like, man, if I have to grow, you immediately may think, wow, if I start to grow, I may not be around this person no more. I may have to let this person go. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of feelings and connections with that. But I'm going to tell you this. This is what I've come to find as the single. This isn't the, one all be all thing. This is just my experience and the different people I've been around with different backgrounds. And I've come to find that this has helped all of us. Again, my experience to different friends. You may have something different. By all means, if you do, share it with the world and share it with a friend near you. So what I've come to find that will help you get out of this phase is this. It's a single thought and faith. I know I use that F word. And faith that you need to succeed for you. Right? You need to, I'm going to repeat that. It's the single thought and faith that you need to succeed for you first. And hope. I'm using that word. I don't really like to use that word too much, but you have to in that phase, and hope that it rubs off on them. So decide to do this, and then you can move on to the next step. I don't like to keep repeating, but I'm going to say this again because some of us will hear that and be like, oh, wow, that sounds like, oh, my gosh, I didn't think about that. And then we don't do nothing about it. So I'm going to repeat this for you so you get this. So I'm trying to give you a way out, people. I'm trying to give you a way out because some of y'all older than me. And some of y'all younger than me, but that's a whole different story. But some of y'all older than me, and y'all know y'all got some friends y'all need to let go. But because of y'all connection and whatnot, you the one who feeling some type of way. You feeling weighed down. Well, I don't feel weighed down, man. That's my friend, bro. How you telling me to leave him? Well, I ain't telling you to do nothing. But if you want to keep feeling the way you want to feel low, you want to feel drained, by all means. Some of us get our rocks off when we get our energy sucked out of us. Hey, to each his own. So I'm going to repeat this one last time. What helps you to get out of this phase is the single thought and faith that you need to succeed for you first and hope that it rubs off on them. Decide to do this, and then you can move on to the next step. The ball's in your court. We moving on. After that, then we go to the fourth phase. And this is what I say is you start to put you and your growth first, right? So simple examples is you done started to let go. You just decided, succeed, whatnot. And, you start to do things. You start to prioritize your health. You've heard me say this all the time on the podcast. Your mental health, your emotional health, physical health, all of those different things, your growth, your healing, getting over some traumas and different things like that, habits, attitudes, mindsets, perspectives. You start to put those things first. Like you're in that. And let me tell you, it's okay to do that. It is okay to be selfish. Like there's points where you have to be selfish. And a lot of people kind of cringe at that. But no, you have to come first. And I always tell people who feel like they can't do that, they always have to do things for other people, I always tell them, okay, if you were a doctor and all of your friends were sick, just an example, all of your friends were sick, but you have the cure, the cure, whatever, right, to heal them. If you get sick in the process trying to help these people, right, and you don't take your medicine first, your chances of helping all of your people are very slim because you are not up to par. You are not doing what you need to do. So let's just say you have 10 friends. You're doing your thing. You really trying to push yourself. You really trying to make sure they get it and whatnot. So you sacrificing your time, your health, all the things to keep you healthy. You healed 3 friends. Now, next thing you know, you start to get some symptoms. You start to feel weird. You start to acting funny. You get one more. That's 4 friends, right? Now you sick just like them. It would be the best thing if you're the only doctor. It would be best if you take the medicine to get yourself right so you can heal the remaining friends. If you don't do that, you and those other friends, well, I'm not going to go there, but you get the point. It ain't going to be good. So it'd be best for you to be selfish for a moment to get yourself right so you can help all of them. All y'all can live. And then afterwards, y'all can go and eat a mango and a strawberry and be like, dang, bro, we almost died. You know what I mean? But you didn't. Here you are. You're able to live and tell the story. It's okay to be selfish. There's points where you really have to be selfish. You have to put yourself first. If you don't put yourself first, how can you be there to help those people? If you're always doing things for those people, if you're not here no more, you can't do nothing. So get that. You're going to start to push yourself first, right? And your growth. You get the point. We're going to move to the next one. The 5th phase is what I call the alignment phase. And that's when you just start getting in alignment with people, ideas, your dreams, etc. So simple examples would be you may have always had this idea to start dancing, right? And you thought about it, but you didn't think too much of it. And you started to go to the gym because you're getting, your physical health and your physical goals and growth going on. And next thing you know, you see this hot person. If it's a girl, it's a girl. If it's a guy, it's a guy. You see them, you're like, oh, wow, they good looking, blah, blah, blah. And you start to ask them like, wow, you're really in shape. And they say, ask them, what do you do? And they may say, oh, I do Zumba or I do some type of dance thing too. And it's like, what? I've always thought of like doing like dancing, but I never knew how to. And the person's like, hey, well, you should come check out this event Thursday at 7. New people come and they just kind of just join, learn different things like that. What? Things just start happening. Same thing with people. You just start meeting different people. They're on that same wave. Like, bro, I went through that same thing with my friends. I want to do something different. I had to let some of them go. You start to be in alignment with them. Your dreams, all of this is just where like everything just starts to piece together. A lot of people start to get confirmation. A lot of people start to get their dreams. That's just that phase you're in, right? Because, you're growing, right? Then after that, you move into the 6th phase. And this is what I call the new friends / new circles phase. And so what that means is that you start to meet people that challenge you. They help you grow and share resources, etc., etc. So this is where, you've been doing what you needed to do for yourself. Like you started the work. You really started to work. This actually reminds me of a very good conversation I just had with a new person that I met 2 weeks ago with this club, and he gave me some really good advice on personal stuff for myself. So I can tell you start to meet these people and they start to challenge you and they share different things. But this is where, like, once you kind of started to move things for yourself, you've self-initiated these things, other people will start to come. What I mean by challenge you is not that they're going to piss you off. Some may, because we all kind of need that here and there. Some of us maybe learn better that way. And they'll start to challenge you and ask you questions or say, okay, well, I see what you're doing, but you could do more. Or, yeah, you've been doing this, and this, but what about this? You could do that. Or they'll start to help you grow, like, hey, I'm noticing that you're doing this. I thought, hey, maybe you should know this or know that. Or I read this book and I think it may help you. They may share resources, like you may have been doing something towards your growth, be it with the dancing thing, and they may say, hey, there's actually another person who's been doing the same thing you've been doing, but they've started to change their health up and they started to incorporate more of whatever, these superfoods, and it's been giving them more energy. They've been able to heal faster. They're not as tired after a dance routine, different things. People just start to do that. So you have these new circles, right? And I wanted to say new friends and new circles because we all have different circles in our lives, or this different group. Some of us may have not as many. Some of us may have one, to each his own. But you have different circles. For me, I have like those friends who we can be very emotional, authentic, just all out there. Then there's the ones who are more business-like. Then I have the friends who are just, we're just very deep. Then I just have the friends we're not as deep. We just keep it surface level, stuff like that. But it's just good stuff. It's just like after a while, you just need the simplicity of things. Like, bro, let's just actually just go to the park and laugh at how the fish jumped out of the water. The simple stuff. So you start to get into that phase, right? So then we're going to go to the 7th phase now, right? So after the 6th phase, this is what I call the right timing phase. And basically what this is, and I'm going to emphasize on this word, some, again, some, not all, some of those old friends, they start to come back into your life, right? And they may be in alignment with what you're doing now. So, for example, they could be supporting you. You may have started a business. You may have started a podcast. You may have started whatever it is that you're doing. And those old friends may start to come back and support you. They may share some of the things that they learned from you because you guys were close, but they see that you had to do your thing. That inspired them to do their thing. And because of that, they may start to connect you with someone that may help you out with some things. So this is where it's just like when I told you before, to get out of that 3rd phase is succeed for yourself first and hope that it rubs off on them. And in some cases, it will. And those people will just start to come back and help you. So just to give you an example, with me, I had to go through a phase where I had very close friends and we were always hanging out, but I had to learn different things. They were all going to school. I had to learn business and stuff like that. So I was kind of on a different path. And I wanted them to learn some of these things as well, but that just wasn't in the books and stuff like that. And there was a lot of friends that I had. And because of all of these things that I had to do for myself, I didn't talk with some of those friends as much. It was to the point where other people would ask, hey, how's that friend? Or, how they doing? I'm like, I have not talked with them, in a year or two, sometimes longer. And of course, the usual saying comes after that is, But I see their status on Facebook though. And that was it, like, oh, we talk. I like their statuses. They're alive, And that was kind of how it was for a very long time with some friends. And then like now for me, as you all know, I do a podcast. Some of those friends, have come back into my life and we actually talk about really good things. Like they're doing different things. They're learning different stuff. They're growing. They like what I'm doing. They're sharing it with their friends. They even tell people like, oh, yeah, I know what you're going through here. Listen to this podcast. Like they supporting me and they're helping me out. Like they're giving me ideas for different things. So some of those friends, again, emphasizing some of those friends will start to come back. It's that right timing phase. You're in a process of succeeding. They're doing their thing. You guys come together. You guys are in a harmonious state. And it just works out. So that's kind of really that phase right there. And that's the phase that you hoped for, that you were hoping would come back. And sometimes you get that and it feels good. It's just like, yeah, I'm glad you're back in my life because this is something I was hoping for. I know I had to do my thing, and it's just when you guys come together, it just makes sense. Like, I'm glad I did what I had to do because I know now that since I'm a better person, you knew me. And it's good because those friends, they know who you were before you were this new person. They knew all of your faults, all of your weaknesses, and they see, wow, through all of the stuff that he's been through or she's been through, I see the change in hell. I can do that because I know you. And again, that's where I said you hope that it rubs off on them and they'll start to do the thing. And it just, happened. And really, guys, that we come to the 8th phase, and that is just repeat the process. So what that means is pretty much you've grown so much that you'll pretty much grow again, and you're going to have to do the same thing. I say that because, life is not like a straight line. Life is a circle, like it spirals. We come back to things and we have a deeper understanding of them. So you may grow and you may meet these new people in your life and you have new circles and you guys are in harmony for a period of time. But then as you grow some more, you're going to need a different circle. You may need different types of people than you thought you may have not needed before. And I will say that I used to say all the time, I kind of still do, but I'm kind of appreciating simplicity. But I used to always say, nah, if I'm going to be friends with you, I'm going to need, we got to be more than surface level. I don't care about the weather. I caught myself. I don't give 2 ducks about your cat or your dog. I don't care. I don't care about your job. But what I do care, how are you emotionally? Do you love yourself? Like, what are some of the things that you are what are some of the challenges that you are facing in your life right now? What are you clear on things? Or are you not? Like, that's the type of conversations I need to have with you. If you want to sit down and talk with me about the weather and I don't know what's going on with the world. Like, oh my gosh, did you see what Beyonce posted? We will not hang out probably ever again. And it just won't work. No. But what I've come to find is that there are some times where I do appreciate some of those friends where I can hang out with them and we just don't talk about nothing deep at all. We keep it very simple. Like, hey, why do you like wearing orange? Like, oh, well, I just seen this shirt because all of my other shirts that I like to wear, they're dirty at the moment. So until they get cleaned, I'm going to wear this. Like the simple things, very simple. So you'll come to find, guys, as you grow, you're going to appreciate certain things that you really didn't care for or not. You might, meet different types of people that need to come into your life and help you with different things. So again, you just repeat the process. Now, what I will tell you, that was all of the 8 steps. This is what I'm going to tell you. How I broke that up, that sounds easy. that sounds a bit like, okay, I can do it. I can do that. That's simple, that. But I'm gonna tell you, this takes, huh? AB, this takes some time. This really does. This really takes time, and it takes a lot of emotional maturity, I would say, internally for yourself to decide. A lot of weighing different options. Everybody has different types of friendships, different things certain friends do, all of these different things. And it really takes you to really you have to really sit down and reflect and evaluate on like some of these decisions to do it for yourself. And again, this may sound hard, but to be very real with you all, again, I make this sound easy because now I went through the process. I get it. So it's just like, okay, I know what to expect. It's easier for me to do it, and I'll just do it. But in the beginning, when you haven't done this, it's very hard. Like I said, you have a lot of feelings. You have friends that you're very, very, very close with. And you guys don't talk like that anymore. I mean, to be honest with you guys, I actually feel kind of bad sometimes because I have some friends like we were super close. I mean, I would stay the night at their house, damn it, for a week. I mean, having my own clothes. We would go to the park. Put it like this. I had like chores at their house when I was over there. Like I just knew what it was. As soon as I came over there, their mom and dad say, okay, hey, y'all need to keep the house clean, blah, blah, while I go to work. I was the one, okay, all right, well, mom said I just got to clean the living room. So y'all got to make sure y'all do your part. Like it was literally like I went to a whole different house. I had chores. I'm telling you guys. Sometimes I had to cook a little things. And sometimes, they cooked. Or we would have to go to the grocery store. Different things like that. That's how close we were. And I feel kind of bad because some of those friends, they didn't make it through as far as at the moment. They may, like I said, I hope, we come back in alignment. But some of those friends, like, it's to the point I don't even know what they're doing right now. I don't even know. Some of them, I'm hoping they are still alive. That sounds so bad. But I had to do it. I had to grow. I had to become who it is. And I'm hoping that, though some of those friends, we get back in alignment. And if we don't, then I have to appreciate the moments that we shared. And it can be tough, guys. It really can. But like I said, that single thought that you have to put your success first, because yes, it feels bad, but do you really want to stay stuck in that position, those feelings for the rest of your life? Like, I'm going to say stuck because I heard this saying, and I know I'm butchering it, but it was worse than a cuss word. It was what these groups of people would say they would say to people. So instead, like us, if someone pisses us off, we may say F you or F your mama or different things like that. We'll curse you out, then we start fighting. But for them, their type of cursing in a way was that they would say, I hope you stay stuck for the rest of your life. And for me, just saying that, like, for me, that is the worst thing ever. Like, I know other people be having like, dark stuff that they feel or they feel like their enemy is after them. That is nothing compared to being stuck for the rest of your life. I don't know about y'all, but really take that in consideration. Like, there is no growth. You are completely there for the rest of your existence. I don't know about y'all, but that honestly kind of makes me want to cry a little bit. Let me get off that because I am kind of feeling a little teary-eyed about that. But yes, guys, like, you really have to decide, are you going to move on? Are you going to grow? And what will help you, again, though it's hard, is that you're doing it for those people. Rather they know it or not, you are growing for those people. Because one thing that helped me later on down the line is that, and I'm going to say this boldly, like unfiltered, is that they damn sure cannot say that they did not know somebody who decided to succeed. God damn it, they cannot say that shit. Like, I'm sorry. You cannot, if you were friends with me and you're hearing this podcast and you were to say, oh yeah, I didn't know anybody who succeeded, you are fucking lying. Like, no. So that is what got me through it. It's like those people that you outgrow, those friends, they are watching you. I will tell you that those friends, they are watching you. And some of them, let's be real, because this podcast is going to be very real. Some of those people are cheering for you and some of those people may not be. And if they're not, we leave them where they're at. But some of them who are, they are cheering for you and they are watching you. And you are an example. You literally like are a shining light. They can say, let's just say you do become super, super successful in whatever area it is. Those people will be like, man, yeah, I grew up with so-and-so. Yeah, y'all didn't know him before. Like, to this day, I have friends who will say, yeah, this new Thad that y'all have today, oh yeah, he was different than the old Thad. Y'all have a completely different. This new one right here, yeah, he's nicer. That old one, no. But I appreciate that because it's just they know who I was. They seen the change that I had to go through. And that's the same thing that you guys are going to do with those friends that you're going to have to outgrow. They're going to see those changes. You're basically setting an example of there is no excuses. So I have to grow. And I'm saying all of this, guys, to give you ammunition and to give you fuel that you deciding to grow and maybe not talk or, having to cut off that friend. Don't feel guilty because you are doing way more good than harm to them, to the relationship. You are winning for that person or those group of people that you are around. And again, if it's, I'm going to go with the quote, I think something about a tide raises all ships, a raising tide raises all ships, something like that. But if you're growing and it's a domino effect and it's affecting those people, by all means, you owe it to yourself and those people around you. Because I'm going to tell you this too. A lot of people don't think this far, but I'm going to say this because I think this far. I'm going to tell it to you like this. When you succeed, especially around those people that you were close with, when you succeed, you impact not only them, but you impact like the generation after them. You are impacting their kids and their kids' kids. A lot of us don't think about that. But if you are a positive light, amongst those friends of yours that you had or still have, may not, whatever, you are impacting them because they can say, you can do it, son. I know someone personally who was exactly where you were, at this time, and they decided to do X, Y, and Z. And people will start talking about you like you were an example. They know you. So I'm saying, again, I'm just saying all of this, guys, just to give you more ammunition, to give you more fuel, because you can outgrow. And yes, you're going to go through things and it's not going to be it's not going to be easier said than done, but just know the reward is really good. Just know what's going to come. I mean, I kind of already told you what's going to come. So, you don't have to worry about that. And just do you. And as you'll find, as you do you'll start helping other people and those people will start helping you. And it just works out. And again, you just be an example. And those people, thank you, intuition. I'm going to tell you this. Gosh, don't let me get emotional. Oh, let me drink some water. I'm going to tell you this. There's going to come a day. Oh, gosh. I feel like one of those people who are like, they're about to say something, they get emotional. Okay. I can do this. There's going to come a day, guys, where someone is going to pull you to the side and they're going to tell you something. They're going to tell you something that's going to completely rock your world. They're going to tell you, hey, you may not know me, but I know you. You were friends with so and so, and they told me a lot about you, and I started to follow you. I know you know nothing about me, but I wanted to tell you that you saved my life. You helped me get through a very crazy moment, and I wanted to let you know personally, thank you for deciding to grow and deciding to be yourself, because if you didn't do it, I don't think I'm going to be here. And when you hear stuff like that, that completely humbles you. It completely changes your it just does something for you. You guys have to experience that. And that's just one of many stories. Like, when you grow and then when you start to share those things, you're going to find someone is going to come up to you or shoot you a message and let you know that you changed their entire life. And guys, you may just be sitting here like, but I didn't even do much. All I did was change this one thing. But that one thing, guys, you decided to grow. That one thing right there just completely just changed someone else's world. Like, to this day, I will never forget that a lot of you all know that my mother passed away last year. And I did a podcast episode about, how to deal with those who lost, how to deal with those who, in death and stuff like that. And there is a great friend of mine. She listens to the podcast. I met her at a podcast conference, and she pulled me to the side and she told me that she was going through the exact same thing that I went through with my mother and her passing and stuff like that. But I will tell you guys that way before all of that, like, to be able to have the mindset, to have the positivity, to have all of that, that took growth. That took me having to separate myself from certain friends who weren't benefiting me. And I had to get around people who went through that, who helped me get through that, who trained me in a way, like I had to develop some things to get to that point to where when it did happen, I was a completely different person. And I'm telling you guys, once you put that growth and you start to outgrow those people, I'm telling you, those people are going to come back and they're going to tell you. And those same friends, guys, it is not going to fail. Those same friends, y'all going to have a moment. They're going to pull you to the side and they're going to tell you some deep, raw stuff that you never knew about them and you thought you always knew about them. You'll be surprised. And I'm going to tell you, this is going to be the last thing. We're going to end the podcast here. I will tell you that you may not think it, but when you start to grow and you outgrow those people around you, you are really, there's a high chance you're actually saving their lives. And you may not even know it. You may have just thought you shouldn't have grown. You should have you felt bad. You felt guilty and this, that, and the other. But because you decided to get through that, you may have by that decision to succeed for you first, you may have saved that person's life. You may know that, or you may never know that. But there are some friends, I will tell you, who have told me that because I had to do different things that I had to do, I have some friends who have told me that, dude, I was in a very dark place and I legit was just like, I'm done. I'm just going to end it. I'm done with life. Like, I have a family. I know they care, but I just can't do it, dude. And I think I'm just going to end my life. And I've had some friends who told me that. And they've said, man, if it wasn't for you posting some status or posting some whatever about blah, 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 if I didn't see it at that moment, I probably wouldn't be here talking to you right now. And it's all because, guys, you decide to grow. It's just because you decide to let go of some of those friends that you may either see again or you may not. And because you're doing that, you are affecting people's lives for the good. So with that being said, I hope this last part of the podcast, I did not expect this, but I hope that this really helps you in that whole process of outgrowing your friends and you already know the steps. You already know what's to come. You're already ahead of the game with this. You can no longer be stuck. If you do, it's because it's your decision. But if you decide to not get stuck and to succeed for yourself first, and again, hope that it rubs off on them, you know what's to come. So with that being said, guys, you all have a fantastic ass weekend. And I will be speaking with you all soon. Oh, and by the way, forgot to say this. Hello again, Spain, because I don't know who's in Spain, but again, you guys are awesome. You are competing with the States. And hello, Germany. I've seen that pop up. So welcome to the podcast. So that's it, guys. That being said, you all again have a fantastic weekend. And I will be talking with you all Tuesday. All right. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Please leave a 5-star rating and share with a friend near you. Remember, the world's a better place because you exist. Know your worth and know thyself.